Good morning, everyone. This is Fran Lewis. This is MJ Network. MJ Network in memory of my sister, Marcia Joyce. And Sherry Ellis is here. And this is going to be so cool. First of all, it's about happy birthday to us. I think I have the book memorized. And I think everyone should read this. And I happened to watch the ball go down on New Year's Eve, the blue ball. And they are going to drop it on July 4th.
Oh, that's
They
fantastic.
are, yeah, they are for 250
Wow.
years. So I got all excited because, and then I emailed them and I have a picture of the bull on my phone. So this is great. I really feel that everyone should read this.
I feel
And
like I want to read it too.
yeah, I really feel that people don't understand how we got our freedom. And because of what's happening in the news, I think they forgot where they lived.
Yeah, that's sad. It really is.
There's a lot of violence and a lot of unhappiness. So why did you decide a special children's book about our nation? I'm going to leave my distance glasses on because they're nicer than the other ones.
Yeah, so the whole process started about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit over 2 years ago. In my other job, I'm an executive director for an orchestra. And so we were planning the 2025-2026 music season, and we went with the theme America 250. So then my little author brain just kind of kicked in and said, hey, that would be a really good book to write and hopefully get out for our nation's 250th birthday. So after we had our meeting and everything, I just kind of sat down and started thinking about what it could be. And that was the process. And I got really lucky to get it done and find a publisher who accepted it and got it out in time for 2026.
You're very lucky because it's so hard to get things published.
Yes.
And yeah, well, I have a publisher when I finish writing my next one. I don't have a problem with that because my writing is odd. They think it's horror. But the last book that I did write was published by someone, and it was a mistake.
Mm.
I only asked them to edit and the grammar and stuff, and the way they did it, it cost me 5 times as much as it would have if I used Robin at Fidelity for $500 to get the book published, edited on everywhere, and formatted, and it cost me close to 2,000, and it went nowhere.
Oh, that's so
So I
disappointing.
wanted to do it myself. Yeah, it went nowhere. So I said, you know what, you got to be careful.
Mhm.
So why did you leave? I thought this was so cool. His birthday, the little boy in the book, is July 4th, which I really thought was great. My nephew was born on July 4th.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Yeah, Cade was born on July 4th. So why did you link it to his birthday? And of course, this is perfect. The cover is
Thank you.
I there's a man next door that has children that works with children that come from Mexico, so they're getting the book.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
Yeah, I want people to understand. And when
Right.
you come from a foreign country, you don't always understand
Right.
and
So,
appreciate it.
why I
So,
chose the little boy and the whole birthday thing, I've read quite a few patriotic books, and I've never seen anything that connected it to a child's birthday. So I thought it would be kind of fun and festive,
yeah.
and it ties an individual's story with the greater whole. That their story is part of something even bigger. So that's kind of the message that I wanted to give. That it's not just about your birthday, but it's something about the collective whole.
Well, this is my favorite picture of the bands and whatever.
Oh, it's kind of put in there.
Well, I played in an orchestra. I'm a concert violinist and pianist, but they
Oh, me
made me.
too.
I actually asked one day if I could play the drums.
Oh, fun. Did you enjoy that?
It was so much fun to do this.
Uh-huh.
Plus the fact that my school had a whole. I was in charge of the music program, on top of everything, torturing me, besides the reading program. And the kids don't appreciate. They don't understand that it's just great. So the band is flying high, marching bands, and his birthday. And when did he realize that it was something special? I love started a marching band and was in a great way to start this. But what about children of all nations that live here?
Well, you know what? I picked out the marching band because I used to live in Lakewood, Ohio, and that was probably the most festive place for the 4th of July.
Uh-huh.
They had the bands, they had amazing fireworks, they had
Nice.
a bandstand. I mean, people were out on their front porches. They were all these old Victorian homes, and they would decorate with the big flags, and they'd have like they had quartets, they had barbershop quartets singing. I mean, it's just amazing. Somebody was down the street playing an accordion and all this patriotic music. So I wanted to capture the festivity of that town in the book. So I kept thinking about all the cool things that went on, and the parade was one of them. So I wanted to definitely have that as a big opener, very big and festive.
That was fantastic. I grew up in the South Bronx.
I'm sorry.
I grew up in the South Bronx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people didn't understand. Well, it was a dangerous neighborhood. Didn't bother me. But I don't think the kids really understood all of this.
Mhm.
And we were taught a certain amount of whatever, and they were sort of programmed, the teachers. They sort of were told what they were allowed to teach and what they weren't, and the curriculums couldn't vary. But when I taught for a million years, I did whatever I wanted.
I
And I
wonder if
was
they
able,
still have, do they still say the Pledge of Allegiance in school and sing all those patriotic songs at the beginning of the class? You know, that's the
yeah,
way I grew up. We had all of that, and I don't know if they still do that in schools.
I grew up in the South Bronx and I went to school in the South Bronx and I taught in a school that was very tough in the Bronx and never had a problem ever. As little as I am, they didn't start. And the kids were all discipline problems for the 19 years I taught double grades
Mm.
of kids that were left back. And they learned everything. And when I did something like this, or one of the Black History, I didn't do it the normal way. And I said, what would you do if you didn't have freedom? How would you deal with it if we didn't get it?
Right.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. They're all on Facebook, so I know I did a good job. They remind me every day. So, what about the nations of the flag, red, white, and blue balloons in the flags? And how did you create what they wore? That is so important because they get the point right away. This is
So,
America.
right. So a lot of that was the illustrator. You know, a red, white, and blue. That's
Yeah,
patriotic American stuff. So you know, the colors red. That's bravery.
yeah,
White. That's purity, innocence.
yeah.
And then blue is perseverance and vigilance and justice. So those are the things that our country stands for. And we wanted to make sure that that was really clear in the illustrations. And I think the illustrator just did a fabulous job with all the red, white, and blue, and the beads, and just everything that's in their face paint. I mean, just amazing.
You know what bothers me is that when I started teaching, well, whenever, I put the American flag up in my room.
Hmm.
I had it on the side, and I had the Black flag, because we did lift every voice and sing because I was in charge of graduation. They made me do everything. The first year I taught, I did just about every music program in the world, and I was only teaching, and I was a kid, and
Uh-huh.
I loved every minute of it. Now they won't let you put the American flag in the classroom
Wow,
anymore.
that's really
They
surprising.
changed, yeah, and we were told that we had to do, and there was an announcement. Everybody stand and we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right, right. I remember that when I was growing up in school. That was
Yeah,
what
I
the first
mean,
thing did.
they won't let you do that anymore. They don't do that
Wow.
any of that anymore. And I know because my friends are still teaching in my school, and I've been asked to come back quite a number of times because I'm a reading specialist and writing.
Hmm.
And it's not that I don't want to come back into the school, it's just that's not the same.
That's
The kids are
sad.
fine.
It
I don't
really
worry
is.
about the students. I don't worry about the students. They never had a problem. It's just not the same. The administration is different. And they asked me to come back for career day. And I said, if it meant coming back for like 2 hours, and I wasn't going to walk 10 flights of stairs up and down anymore. I could, but I don't want to. So if you bring them down, I'll be more than happy to talk to them about being an author. And they said, well, you can come up in different classes for 15 minutes. There's no way I'm traveling an hour and a half to my school to
Yeah,
do that.
that's a bit long.
It was a pity because the people that came forget it. So the drums held the fives and flags explain how it was the 4th of July. But I love the parade and the tribute it took and the courage it took, the freedoms explained. So how did you explain the different freedoms and the tribute? That was so amazing.
The different freedoms. Are you talking about the Declaration of Independence or the Statue of
This one,
Liberty?
this one.
Okay.
We didn't
Yeah.
get to the You didn't get to my favorite person yet, the statue.
Oh yes, we're gonna get to the statue.
And the
So
parade for his birthday. This was so clever.
I wanted to, yeah, I thought, what way could we tie the history, the things that happened with present day? And I thought, well, a parade would be really good to show some of the things from the past, like Paul Revere and Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin and the drums and the fifes. Those are all things from the past, and to kind of incorporate it. So things like the drums and the fifes, those were used in the past to for communication and also for boosting the morale of the troops. So I wanted to show all those things and tie it to present day so people can see the symbolism between the two things.
I don't think enough people understand the importance of the Statue of Liberty. I
Mm.
don't think enough kids know how we got it. And I was lucky because I got to see it.
Oh, that's nice.
Actually, yeah.
I didn't get to
When
see it. I have a to
I
go.
got to climb up to the top, and I went with a group from school, teachers, everybody. It was a class trip. I was so brave. It was scary to climb
Oh,
up on Ellis Island and to go up there. Yeah, I
what about the
mean,
steps? You didn't take an elevator up? You had to climb all the steps?
no, it was more fun to take the steps. They said,
Okay.
and they did the same thing when I went to the top of the Empire State Building,
Oh,
which is where my
wow.
mother worked. Yeah, that was even scarier. I'm never afraid of heights,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's an experience that everyone needs.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
And
Yeah,
this,
so the Statue of Liberty, that's just amazing symbol of, what our
I
country
don't know
stands
if they allow people up there anymore, but you could feel. Well, here she is. I love her.
for. Uh-huh.
And when we
Yeah.
used to go downtown, you automatically passed her. So to take a picture and wave. That's Lady Liberty welcoming everyone to America. And I
Right.
don't think that kids today understand that. I
Hmm.
don't think they're taught the importance of what she really stands for and what we stand for. I mean, look at the arguments on the news. Look at the what's happening with different factions, with the president, with everybody. I think they forgot.
Yeah, it's sad. Well, if you look at the Statue of Liberty,
Yeah,
she's holding a tablet, and on the tablet
yeah,
it says 1776, so right there. And then at her feet, she has broken shackles, and that represents freedom from tyranny. And of course, she's right there in the harbor to a lot of immigrants
yeah.
coming in, and she's like a beacon of hope, like new beginnings. So she's a beautiful symbol for our country, and it's too bad people don't really appreciate that. At
Now
least,
let's get to the people that really. You know what? I did a whole thing here. The patriots were the most important people: Benjamin Franklin, Paul Revere, and everybody. We mustn't forget George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, and James Mason,
mm,
and James Madison. I actually did a little history here. And of course, we have Patrick Henry, Samuel Adams, and a whole bunch of other people. And all of these are the people that helped us gather our freedom. But the man that did it was George Washington.
yeah, George
And
Washington's
his
great.
birthday was February 22nd.
Hmm.
So I
Great.
said, that was really good. Say, happy birthday,
Yes,
George. And
yes.
he did it. So define the Patriots and why is it important that kids learn about them? Everyone needs to read the page, which includes, of course, we'll get to that next, my favorite document, the Declaration of Independence. I actually had my class memorize it.
Oh, good. Yeah, so
That and
patriots
and they
are really
did.
good. Yeah, I mean, they're the ones who were brave and fought for freedom to make
Yeah.
us who we are. And we've got people like Paul Revere, doing the ride.
Yeah.
And then you have Benjamin Franklin. He signed the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. And you have Thomas Jefferson, too, who was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. He was our third president, and he actually was the one who first celebrated the 4th of July at the White House. So just amazing people, in our past that we should, recognize and remember the sacrifices they made for our freedom.
This was priceless.
Yes, isn't that great?
This was just priceless. Just for them to actually see the faces of John Hancock, Paul Revere, and my favorite George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. I thought that was clever. The
Yeah.
problem, and then of course the Declaration of Independence. And I don't think enough, and that's why it was his birthday. So he really thought, guess what? I was born on a very special day, and I think that it's great. So how did he? Is it? I thought for a moment they smiled real wide. That's not just mine. We all share it with pride.
Mhm.
That a kid would actually care enough about America's freedom to want to share his birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, so he finally understood at that point that it wasn't about him, that there's something bigger. And it's about the community and celebrating this wonderful thing that we have, the freedom. And it's all spelled out in the Declaration of Independence, pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And I think, we need to really be vigilant and remember that that's what our country is based on, and not take it for granted, and just be careful that our freedom isn't taken from us. So this page is a reminder of what we have and how wonderful this is, and how we should appreciate it, and maintain it, not take it for granted.
It's going to be really amazing. I don't know if they're going to do it at midnight, probably on July 4th, and drop the ball again.
Hmm.
That blue boy was beautiful.
That
It
sounds
was
fantastic.
it was beautiful, and people understood it to a point.
Hmm.
I don't think that they quite understood the gravity of the situation, and that was something special that was created. They just thought it was like a promotion thing. When I saw it go down, I said that makes you proud.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have too many places that they do New Year's Eve. It sort of takes away from what it really meant. It really means the New Year. I know that and I did a whole thing on Abraham Lincoln also. I know that Abraham Lincoln in 1863 created the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st of 1863, where we got their black people got their freedom.
Hmm.
And I did that for Black History with someone. We did every Black American that we could possibly find that most people don't know about,
Hmm.
and it was interesting. So parents and educators and children need to read the final page and explain the cake and all of that. The July 4th celebration. How did you create that? And the last three pages, enveloping your message. That is so amazing. All of this was so cool.
Uh, so I wanted to incorporate the birthday celebration, with the family,
Mm.
friends, for the simple birthday celebration with the cake and everything. But I also wanted to tie it into the community. So the last page has all the people
Yeah,
from the community celebrating not just his birthday, but the 4th of July. And you have that little guinea pig character putting the little A, happy birthday to us, USA. So that really ties in the whole, this is for the country too. So it was a lot of working with the illustrator. Oh,
that's it.
that's nice. Yeah,
That's the ball that they dropped. I had to take a picture of it.
so
And I
pretty.
want actually, if I press it, it'll drop. It'll drop again. And I was like so proud that they did that, that I actually made sure that I got a picture of it. And people thought I was like, "What's wrong with her?"
No, that's
But
beautiful. I wonder if they'll
uh,
be like red, white, and blue for when they drop it on the 4th of July. I think that'd be
red,
cool.
white.
Red, white, and blue, something, with the patriotic colors.
I know, and I wasn't allowed to wear. Well, I wasn't allowed to wear red and white. I was allowed to wear blue.
Yeah.
My mother said I don't look good in those colors. But
Okay.
now I wear the red. Whatever,
Yeah, me too.
whatever,
Look at that.
whatever makes me happy. What can I say? Matches my
Uh-huh.
hair. So we celebrate. How do you teach kids to celebrate freedom and family? And July 4th, I mean, it was always special. My nephew was born that day. Of course, they lives in Florida, but I call him up and sing happy birthday, sort of. Um, I don't think enough kids understand the importance. When I used to live in the Bronx, they actually shut off firecrackers.
Well, I think
And
that's
you
part of
know,
it, with your family, just you just celebrate it. You
you
wave
don't want
the
to
flag.
know where I lived
Yeah.
in the South Bronx, but I also lived in Pelham Parkway, and you didn't want to be outside when they were shooting off the firecrackers in the schoolyard and
Yeah.
across the house and everywhere. And the kids in the neighborhood that were not very great used to run up and down the steps of different buildings, including ours. When they stopped at my door, I said, "I don't think you want to do that." They didn't. They
Like,
came for Halloween because they had the best candy, so they didn't mess with me. And most of them were kids from, yeah, they were tough kids in the building, so it didn't matter. But I
uh,
don't think that kids realize the importance of July 4th.
yeah, I don't think
And
we celebrate it as much
they're
as
like the firecrackers are not everything, but it does do something.
right. So, I love when you have these neighborhoods and homes putting out the American flag and decorating with all the flags and the colors red, white, and blue. I think that's beautiful. And I love when towns have events like the parades or the gatherings in the parks, of course the fireworks. But I think every town should have some kind of major celebration where it's a big deal and kids look forward to it every year. And it's a beautiful
Yeah,
opportunity to, why are we celebrating this? Well, this is why. And you remind them every year, this is our freedom. This is, you can do whatever you want to do. And it's beautiful. So I
they
think it needs to be part of like the yearly celebrations, just to
they don't do that up here where I am
they don't
ever.
do any
No,
kind
they
of
do it in
celebration.
White Plains, which is interesting. And they do it in Mamaroneck. They don't do anything up here. They don't even do Christmas or Hanukkah up here in this
Wow.
neighborhood. They're kind of like snobby. But when I lived in Pelham Parkway in the Bronx, there was a lot of different kinds of celebrations. Which for July 4th or actually some of the state senators had something, and I was included to help them, so I was helping them with their campaign. That was even more fun,
Mhm.
getting to be the first hand at it. But when I went, you couldn't go downstairs on July 4th because you couldn't. But on the George Washington Bridge, they used to shoot off firecrackers there. You could see it from the bridge,
Hmm.
and I don't think they do enough anymore. They
I
used
wonder
to
what it
close
is.
the bridge too, so that you could walk across the bridge on July 4th, which I did once.
Well, people can wave their flags though. I mean, even if they don't
Yeah,
have the wherewithal for the fireworks, they could still put flags in
yeah.
their yard. I mean, that's easy.
But I don't, you have to be careful with fireworks
Yeah, for sure.
because I know people that have lost a thumb. My father, when he was younger, shot off fireworks and he lost his hearing in his ear because they did it wrong. Somebody shot off a firecracker wrong.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, you have to be careful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I think
happy
they leave it to the professionals.
the title "Happy Birthday to Us." We're the ones who are the people. We are America. It was a song that I did when I was teaching. We are America. Uh, and I never really did "This Land Is Your Land" or whatever. There was a song that's called "This Is America to Me."
Hmm.
And I did that for choral speaking the first year I taught. Had no idea what I was doing, got a standing ovation because I made it up. Yeah, I made it up my way. I
Uh,
didn't just talk, we sang, we did a whole bunch. So, how do you get kids to understand, to embrace the fact that you're very, very lucky? I mean, there were children in the news, it's snowing everywhere, and they were throwing snowballs at the cops
that's
in
terrible.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Yeah, the disrespect is right there. I mean, then there's a group that tried to take over Bay Plaza in the Bronx, the shopping center,
Yeah, that
and
just
then
breaks
there's
my heart to hear
it.
all
It's
this stuff.
horrible. These kids, they don't understand. So what would happen if maybe we sent them somewhere where they would understand?
Yeah, to look at some of the places where there isn't freedom, where there's a dictatorship and,
Yeah, try
what that
Russia.
means. Yeah, I think that's the problem. We take a
Yeah,
lot of people take it for granted, and then they don't realize what they have until it's gone. And I hope we don't get to the point where we lose it, and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, now
that's
I
how
get
I
it."
feel.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
So,
I read the posts on Facebook, and it's becoming a nasty political feud of
mm,
people insulting other people and whatever. And all I post is my shows. I don't do anything. I don't comment on anything. They even made a site called Trump is not my president.
oh,
Yeah, I get it, but it's wrong
yeah,
because
that division.
despite what you think about him,
Yeah,
He's still the president.
you could disagree on things, but just to make it so,
Yeah,
full of hate, that's just no good.
there's a lot of hate out there. And if you watch the news, even the commentators that are presenting something, each one has their own point of view.
Mm,
Nobody is the same,
yeah,
and nobody has anything positive. Well, the people that like him, well, that's their problem. But it's just that he doesn't hear what people are saying. He doesn't take criticism. If he's wrong, if you say something wrong, he fires you. He wants to send the chief justices. He wants to impeach them because they disagreed with something.
mm,
And everybody's not going to agree with you. Now,
right.
page that I really like, the page that explains why we celebrate July 4th, is a great resource for teachers and for children. And
Right.
I think that kids need to learn how to do research.
Right, right, but it tells right there who the 13
Yeah,
colonies were, so that's a great thing to talk about. Shows where you can find the original Declaration of Independence. So if they go on a field trip to
yeah.
Washington D.C., they can find it. I like to in all of my books that I write, I like to put down more of the historical things that are in there, so the kids can learn a little bit more. And if they want to research more about it, they can do that. So this is a start for them to learn a little bit more about the people and the states and all of that who are behind the Declaration of Independence.
I did, I mean, we had it, my old assistant principal before the last person came. Unfortunately, she came. Ever so often, they gave us like anything I did for writing Sister of Elbow, reading. I didn't even listen to their topics. But
Hmm.
one week I walked in and I said, "How would you define kindness? What do you think is a definition? How would you show kindness to someone?" And I don't mean by buying them a present.
Right. Did you
And
get some
then
good answers?
then I said to them, "Well, if you bought a present for someone and you bought something really nice, who in this class would you give it to?" They looked at me and they didn't. They said, "That was really sneaky." I said, I never got presents when I was growing up. I just had to get straight A's and I didn't get a reward. But
Mhm.
kids today, like, oh, what am I going to get if I get 100 on a
Oh,
test or
right.
whatever? Not me. So before I forget, next Monday, March 2nd, this is going to be very sad. It's called The Story We Share by Jessie Pickler. She woke up in the middle of the night to find her husband's cousin next to her, and you could figure out what happened next.
Oh boy. Mm.
On March 4th, New York Times author, he's my favorite, David Putnam, with his two new series, Imogene's Craze for Fiasco and Harvey Usher's Obsession. They're too elderly but hysterical. On the 23rd, on the 8th of April, my reading professor and I from Lehman, because I'm a reading, Dr. Cavuto picks the topic. I don't. And he tells us what we're going to talk about reading. But on March 23rd, the author of Tricked, this girl was 15 years old. She thought that she was taken in by this man named Marvin, and he turned her into a hooker and prostitution for all her life. So she asked if I would present the story, and I'm very proud to say that I will. Alan Jacobson in May, and on the 18th, I have Tiffany Warren and Harlem Dreams, and I'm all the way booked until the end of August with Tess Gerritsen. She's coming on with her new book. But what would you tell everyone that you want people to come away with after they read this book?
I think a sense of understanding of what the Fourth
Yeah.
of July is all about, and also a sense of pride. Be excited about the United States, about its accomplishments, about its history, about being a citizen of the United States, and
Yeah.
about having freedom. And that's the big thing.
Well, you know what? Someone, I won't say who, said he's going to take away the fact that children that are born to Americans are no longer citizens. They have to go to the immigration citizen. And I just said, does that mean your family too? I mean, you can't do that.
No,
You're born in America and you are a citizen, and yet the people that come here, the immigrants, not everybody's good, but not everybody's bad. And a lot of these people are the ones that are supplying a lot of the tests that nobody wants to do.
That's true. That's
That's the truth. So,
definitely.
what would you hope everyone comes away with after they read the book? And I think adults need to remember too that they're not the only ones that have to learn from reading the book.
I know. I think it would be almost interesting to have, it's in school, like just regular
Yeah,
students, not even immigrants, just go through what
yeah,
people who come to the United States as immigrants have to go through, what they have to learn,
yeah.
and then take a test on that. I don't know that there's anything like that, to really get it into their heads what America is
Yeah.
about and the history and all of that. I really think it would kind of help a little bit to just, make people aware and make our children aware of, what a great gift this is.
I
It's
don't think they even realize what Martin Luther King did. And I don't understand, we realize that they understand his speech. My professor in college, when I was going to take mass media, was the one that created the movie King. So I got to see it firsthand.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot. It was different, and I didn't not a long time ago, but it was just different. There were professors actually taught, and I took mass media because I thought it would be interesting. It was. I learned about Martin Luther King. I learned about freedoms. I learned how to create a movie myself and the real. It was amazing, but
Uh,
I would hope people would come away with it. I think that students of upper grades can learn about freedoms and talk about them. When they asked us to do Martin Luther King in school, I said, you cannot write a report about Martin Luther King. You have to pick one of his attributes and tell how that attribute is in you and why he would be proud of you.
I like
Oh,
that.
I told you I never did anything the right way. Then my principal walked in. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, integrity and kindness, whatever." Each child had to pick an attribute of Dr. King. They had to look it up and find out about it.
Uh-huh.
Write
Right.
about how he said it because he did say it,
Uh-huh.
and tell about how it would apply to them. And
I
then we
love
had to.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
I love that because
I
you're just
never did
learning about the
anything that
person.
anybody else was supposed to do. I
Uh-huh.
mean, even my boss used to walk in and he says, how do you get away with doing things that no one else would think of? I mean, one of the principals said, well, I didn't, to cheese was horrible. You have to write a report on spring.
Hmm.
Why? She said that this topic of, no, nobody picked my writing topic, so I was a writing person. Unfortunately, that's a whole other horrible story. And I walked into the class and they said, Mrs. Lewis, are we really going to have to write about spring? I go, no. I said, what are we going to do? I said, how many of you like spring? How many of you like winter? I want you to be, half of you like spring, half like winter. If you like spring, I want you to call up winter and ask him if he minds if you stay an extra 6 weeks and why.
Oh, I
And
like
if you
that.
like winter, I want you to call up spring and tell him, well, I'm going to stay with the snow for a couple of weeks. I hope you don't mind starting in June. It was hilarious.
I love that personification of it. I love it.
That was so funny.
Did they
I mean,
enjoy it?
because I never walked into, and it was hard being the writing person, walking into, no, I never walked into a room where they said, oh God, she's here. They would say, it's about time you got here.
Uh-huh.
But there was always like an art assignment that went, like art or a picture or something to do, and it was always something special. And when they had a baseball thing, I said to the guys, if you could create a thing for the Yankees, because the Yankees were going through a change, what would the uniform look like? And the girls said, I said, if you could do something for the cheerleaders, what would that look like?
Uh-huh.
And doing things the right way, one way is right. So upper grade
Yeah, I love
students
that.
need to understand this about being important of discussion, but families need to bring this out too, and the respect that teachers got. At least I didn't never had a problem. Kids were never disrespectful to me. It just was not wise.
Mhm.
And I taught discipline problems. And the year before I retired, I was a special needs coordinator. The principal of the school, when she came in, said, "We're not going to get along." I had my supervisory degrees, all five of them, and I had a principal's license and a superintendent. She says, "You're going to want my job." I said, "I don't want your job. I just want to be the reading coordinator." And she said, "No, you're going to be the writing. We need to raise the writing scores." No idea what. I just, the district office came in and told her she couldn't do that because Title I reading was mandated by the state, and she got away with it because her
Mm.
brother-in-law worked for the Board of Ed, and the writing scores went up 50% that year. With somebody
Wow,
that
well, that's
I know,
impressive.
I just made up my own thing. I didn't care,
Yeah.
but it's sad. I mean, principals have to understand that teachers are there, and the year after I was the special needs coordinator was the dean, and I did a great job. I should have taken it for another year instead of going back to reading,
Mhm.
because she took away my room and everything, so I couldn't teach the right way.
Well, it sounds like you were
I
effective,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
sad. So what's next for you? What can we expect?
Well, I have a few projects in the works.
Oh, good.
I have a picture book. It's completed, but I just need to polish it up. It's called Chicken Sleep on Sunday. It's a days of the week book, but it's just kind of told in a really funny way. It's a concept book. I'm working on a memoir as well. Last year, my son passed, so I've been working on that as kind of a therapeutic thing, but it might help others who have experienced the loss of a child. And then I'm also working a little bit on a historical fiction book for
Oh,
YA.
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be set in the Civil War period. Return to Sapelo Island is the working title right now. So I've got things kind of sketched out for that. And I also have another idea for a middle grade series. It's like a Flower Fairy Academy, and it's going to also teach about. I like gardening and plants, so it's going to also teach a little bit about different plants and how to take care of them and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So kind of just thrown in there. So I have ideas. I don't know, when they'll come to fruition, but I'm just kind of steadily working on things.
That is great. My last book is called Inverted Reality, like I said.
Mhm.
It's 26 stories. Each character does the wrong thing. If they do the wrong thing and they don't redo the activity again, they become a face in the mirror, forever repenting.
Oh,
It's Yeah, it's really good. A lot of people read it, and everybody was afraid to review it. Nobody reviewed it, and yet everybody says it's different. So when I gave it to my pharmacist, he said that they were all reading it, and they
well, that's
really
good.
thought the stories are really good because I mean, one is they're all true stories. Some of
Mhm.
them. There was my principal, and she said that I was asked to change the writing scores by the head of the Board of Ed writing testing for real. She said, "We don't like your scores. We think you should change them. The fifth grade didn't do as well as they should. They were not marked by the fifth grade teachers. Three classes did fine, and two failed. She wanted to send me the sheets to fudge the scores and change them. And I
Wow,
was,
that's not
and
ethical.
my principal said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "If you have me wanted me to change it, I will not be the test coordinator. I won't do it." And she backed me up.
Mm.
And then they forced her out
Oh,
because she
that's
wouldn't
good.
do it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's yeah, that's the kind of thing that went on back then. So my next book is going to be Inverted Reality, book two, and I've got some people that are going to have to pay the penalty. But I'm trying something different. It's called the gated community. It's 25 people. Each person lives one in each house, and it's guarded. So you
Mm.
can't even take your car. I don't even know how I came up with it. You can't even take your car unless the guards bring it to you and help you drive out. So how did two dead bodies wind up in two of the houses when
Oh,
no
wow.
one's allowed in there? So I don't even know. But this
Wow.
has been great. Let me change this. Where can everybody find out about you? Because that's important.
Okay, so I have a website, sherryellis.org, and you could also find me on social media. There's social media links on the website, but I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, BookBub, just all the places.